Word 2. And how about by Hashem, we outside by Hashem, congregation. Hey, it's a lot. We want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone rule well. Peace and blessings come to wonders to the house of David the elect. Hey, today we're going to go into a live stream entitled The Patriarch Did Not Begin with the So-Called White Man. All right, because I've been hearing this reoccurring statement from basically Kemet community and so-called black woman that the patriarch came from the so-called white man. It came with European colonization. And before y'all brothers get y'all points, can you look up the word patriarch? All right? Because what's happening is our way, which really Yahweh's way, is being boxed in to this narrative that men being on top was really rooted in the so-called white people's oppression towards us. All right? Which it really, men being on top, which it really preceded. All right, that's the brother Halak right there, Shalom, bro. It really preceded, all right, the so-called white man being in rulership. You got it, bro.
This is from Edamon Online for Patriarchy. It says ecclesiastical province under a patriarch. It says male chief or head of a family.
Yep. Male chief and head of a family. Now, real quick, can the brother get 1 Corinthians 11? All right? Because first of all, this Bible didn't start with European colonization, man. All right? This Bible, this word, contains a vast history of really so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans being in rulership. This is real so-called black history. And within that black history was a patriarch, all right, running the earth. A so-called black patriarch, man. We wasn't even in the full patriarch in America because we were still subject to the so-called white man, even in the 50s. But when we had our own land, our own laws of the Most High, yes, we were a patriarch, man. Forget what Ham was doing. Ham had their queens, and those queens were whores. They were sluts, man. Oh, you got it, bro. Okay, it's a lot.
This Isaiah 8:20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there's no light in them. That word's referring to the doctrine of Yahweh Bashim al-Shah being taught in its right form. And part by putting women on a pedestal, that's something that the Most High hates. So even for this society and for our people to condone that type of madness, you got this Egyptology people, they advocate for women to be up upon a man, high level upon a man. That's against the word, man. So if they speak according not to the word of Yahweh Bashim al-Shah, it means they have no light. That's why we say through the spirit, they call him Polite, when we say no light. Right? Because he always pushed that advocacy of so-called women's right, women's empowerment. And that's totally against the scriptures.
But they said as though we were oppressing women. All right, the nigger community is already ran by women. Since the 70s, that's why it's fucked up. Because Esau put himself on top, then he put Eve right up under him to rule over you niggas. That's why the average so-called black man is bugged the fuck out. Because he wasn't developed by a man.
All right, you gotta say Esau, then the woman, then the children, then the man.
Yeah, right.
That's how it is.
Pursuant to the curse, Isaiah 3:12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, which are basic rulers, and women rule over them. And you, in a so-called black woman, you have this entitlement to rule over the so-called black man. All right.
Because they could say, my child will eat from my man will, in which, like I say, I'm 40 years old, right? My mom always feed my dad first, then we, you know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do it back in the day. But now, like I'm bitch said, my kid gonna eat before for her man.
But traditionally, how did the food come into your house in the first place? Somebody broke down on TikTok or one of those social media sites. Women put their children first, right? But the children is a liability for at least 18 years. It's the man that's an asset to your life. But we're not even getting to that. We just talking about this rulership in general, man. Women weren't meant to rule, man. All right?
And it's First Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you to know that the head of every woman is head of every man is Mashiach.
Yeah.
And the head of the woman is the man. Yeah. And the head of the Mashiach is Yahweh.
The head of every woman is the man. You're her head. All right? You're her supervisor. You're her overseer. You're the brain. She's the heart. And it's okay to be the heart. It's okay to be the nourisher. Because you're the feminine energy. It is nothing more attractive than a woman is in her feminine, man. But what Eve wonder why we don't fuck with their ass, and they'll gaslight us and say it's because we dark skinned. It's because you can't handle us. It's no, because we don't want a woman that wants to be a man. But furthermore, we know it's not of you. How about Shemal Shah for you to rule over us, man? And it's not like we never saw you in power. This is you being in power. You know? This is a woman's world. Okay? Did you have any point you want to get into? Yep.
This Genesis 3:1. And it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made.
It's just an allegory. The serpent represented the so-called white man at that time. All right?
You know, the subtle goes into how he was very skillful with his deceit.
Cunning.
Yeah, cunning. You know, he was very crafty. You know, just like in today's time, you'll see like somebody running game upon us, you know, a woman. You know, he talking to her at the bar, spitting game to her. So she was like getting attracted to that speech. Yep. So you ran game on it, and next thing you know, she followed him behind the door. You know, they going back home together. Yep. So that's what Esau did really through the spirit as a serpent to Eve, man. And
it was a philosophy that he was put inside of her mind that was going to cause her to rebel from her power. All right?
It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, and the Most High said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden. You know, and that goes into those different philosophies
of the different nations.
Right. Verse 2, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High said, you should not eat of it, neither should you touch it, lest you die. Verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, you should surely not die.
Thou should not surely die. You know?
Verse 5, for the Most High do it know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes should be open, you should be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took other fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat.
Which meant that they partook in their philosophy, which then they spiritually fornicated. Because they went against those oral laws given to them by the Heavenly Father, man. And started to partake in the basically, at that time, a Western thought, Satanism, you know, do as thou wilt, which it really went into women's rights, feminism, and the woman being a fucking god. That's why I said that if you go into the book of Romans, the first chapter, that was talking about the time before the flood. That's why I said who worshipped and served the creature more than the creator. And it went into all the things they were doing before that flood came, man. All right? Which were those behaviors came by way of philosophy that people were living on the planet Earth. Starting with idolatry, man. Idols come with philosophies. All right? You got some thoughts on that? Yep.
And it's number 1 and 18.
And that's why even T.D. Jakes, I'm going to keep saying his name, man. He was like, Adam, the world went to shit basically when the woman started to pour into the man. The Most High did not create the woman to pour into the man. The Most High set up Adam to pour into Eve. But the moment Eve poured into Adam, the world went to chaos, man. You got it, brother.
And it's number 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month.
The Most High not dealing with a matriarch, man. All right?
And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. The woman can't bring forth nothing, man.
Right.
The woman is the earth. The woman is the earth, the soil. All right, it's like a nest, like a bird's nest. And what's inside that nest? Eggs. All right? So the woman is like the soil, but who's their husband? All right, it's the man. He plant his seed in that soil. All right? And it's incubated in that soil, all right, or that woman, the way eggs are incubated in the nest. So that your offspring has to only come from the father. All right?
Yep. According to the number of the names from 20 years old and over by their folds.
Yep. So basically that's a demonstration example how every man came from his father. When you go into the book of Chronicles, Numbers, that's going into a lineage that all goes back to your father, man. But on this side it goes back to your mother. You know?
Because you know the thing about it. We don't give a damn about Mother's Day, Father's Day, but on the Father's Day, man, they don't get the father a damn thing. But like I said, over here in Mother's Day, come around, motherfucker buying that mom a brand new car, a house, all kind of stuff.
Yep.
But they don't look at the father as being top everything. They get the father little shit. Oh, he needs some tools. I don't know. He might not want no motherfucking tools. He might want a new car.
Yep.
But no. But they cater to the women.
But can you get 1 Timothy 2:12? You had a point. And well, you made a point. You was like, Eve want to be the main character.
Yeah.
And the reason why Eve is leaving the Bible, all right, and leaving the scriptures, all right, because in the scriptures, she's the main character. But in those other philosophies like Kemet, she's the main character. We know your nature. You have an innate desire to rule over LJ, man. So you're gonna subscribe to any philosophy that doesn't confine you to restrictions. Because I know how you women are, man. You're gonna follow any philosophy that doesn't require you to have discipline over yourself, man. And this requires you to have discipline as a woman. And furthermore, you're not the main character. All right?
And then First Timothy 2:12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority over the man of being silent.
So that's why we're gonna have Israelite women teaching, or teaching with us, man. All right, and the best way to have a woman is really in her place behind the closed doors, man. Because the moment you intermingle a feminine, a woman with us, that throws the spirit off, man. And men gonna be distracted. The woman looking at men, you know.
This is Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multitude thy sorrow and thy conception.
I will greatly multiply.
It says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
The Most High set us up to rule over you. Now, if you look up that same scripture in the New Living Translation, it'll tell you that her desire was to rule over us. All right, the deacon brother, Micah Allah brought that out in Dallas. You know? You know, but you do have that innate desire to be over Jake, man.
Yep.
All right.
And it says in the NLT version that he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth. And you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you.
Yep. But you do, man. Your nature as a Evite woman, a so-called black woman, you really want to overthrow Jake, man. Because you got Satan's philosophy in your mind, and you want to manifest that covenant that really you and him to rule. You and Satan. And what's Satan's avatar on earth? So-called white man. All right? That's why he refers to you as the enemy. And what's that? Michael? 7 and 10? And she that is my enemy. A woman could be nice to you and still your enemy. Because we want to rule and we want this kingdom to go down. But she doesn't want this kingdom to go down.
Yeah, she want to prolong it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want to prolong our biblical arch enemy, therefore, as the scriptures say, you're an enemy to us.
You're the ops.
You're the opposite.
That's why Jake better off with a heathen woman, or at least northern kingdom on this side. You know? Because as you can see, our women are not with us, man. You know, and the brothers have any more scriptures?
Yeah, I got one.
All right, because they ain't want to just keep running.
And this is a rock 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife begin that possession.
Wait a minute. Now, because of women's liberation, you rebelled and said you're not a possession or you're not a helpmeet. But then you went to college and just to become a corporate helpmeet. You on a desk behind, you know, you're a nurse ain't nothing but like a helpmeet for the doctor. Yeah. You know, if a woman's not in nursing school or like in the field of medicine, she trying to run a daycare. So she just went to school to take care of somebody else's kids. And nurture somebody else's kids, so you're still a nurse. And what other field does she get into? The medical field, daycare, teaching. So everything that you were supposed to do in the household, you just went to school to do it for your enemy. And do it for a stranger. Did you really get liberated? I was reading an article on one of the reasons why marriages fail, and it went all into the woman. It said for one, she forgot that her purpose on earth is to be a wife. Your purpose is in your gender. That's why you have a period when you turn around 12. That's why your body can produce milk when you were designed to give birth. Your God-given purpose on earth is to be somebody's woman, somebody's helpmeet, in a natural order of things, man. And we're not saying it because we mad right now, like we got into an argument, now we're going live. You know, it's just the spirit. All right?
I'm like, hey, don't no man want a woman, what's called masculine?
With a masculine frame, masculine energy.
And I seen motherfucker at the gym, man. I look at her like, man, I don't want that. I mean, just look at how she walk. I don't want that.
And then you don't want most of our women are Western. So even they look good, they got this Western energy, like they too good for us, or we gotta format ourselves to fit into their world. You know, the scripture says, remember this to show yourselves men. If you gotta denounce your dignity to get with this woman, then just, pass on that, man. If you gotta chase her, because, we're not in the time to chase and kiss ass. We're in the time to reclaim our rulership. The word precious, the word appreciate, because a man has to feel appreciated. The word appreciate goes back to the word precious. We're the precious ones. You know? We're the precious ones, man. All right? All right, you got it, brother.
And it's Sirach 36:24. He that get a wife, they get a possession, a help like unto himself.
You were set up to be a helpmeet. Like, if y'all watch some of those hip-hop, like it'll be a Jake on Miami Beach, spring break, and they'll ask the women, would you rather have a doctor or a drug dealer? And they'll be like, a drug dealer? And they'll all be half naked, they'll all be loud and shameless. Now, what's wrong with actually making them helpmeets? Was it really worth liberating women to be what, whores? Like, was washing dishes and folding clothes and taking care of your husband's kids, was that really so bad? And it ruined our nation, man. You know? Because you had guys like Gaddafi, they didn't have a system where they enabled single women to give birth to bastards. And they gave all them the money. They had systems where when y'all got married in my country, you would get a house. You know, you would get this and that and the third. They put all the money in the couple, working together, not to divide. You know? Not giving this single mother $1,000 a month because she got 4 bastards. It would make more sense to give a so-called married couple that money on their house. You know? That should be who get the assistance.
I think I read something about that. They're giving money to the couple.
Yeah.
I don't know if I read it.
Well, I know that was good in Libya, and they wanted to knock off Gaddafi because he wanted to get rid of that US dollar and use their African dinar. Their own currency. See, why you niggas picking up this damn inflating ass dollar, all right, you had actual leaders saying, look, we're going to have our own currency. And they're not going to be a part of that system. You know? And see, that dollar getting weak, boy. Don't you know I Googled it? That what $100 can do now? What $100 can do in 1920, it takes $1,100 to do that now. $1,100. Even the buying power of $100 20 years ago is of a $100 20 years ago is equivalent to $170 some now. So it takes $170 now to have the same buying power that $100 had 20 years ago. So you're investing into a declining kingdom. You're putting all your pride and energy into a failing empire, man. Rome is falling, and we're rising.
Yeah, brother Jim S. Wakely, he had posted this on YouTube in the community section. It says 2 bedrooms, let's see what year this was, in the 1950s. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, screen porch, carport, with $7,450. Monthly payments, $47.92. And 3 bedroom, 1 bath, screen porch. At that time frame was $7,900, monthly payments $49.74.
The average house is about $200,000, $200,000. It's like the average house in a good neighborhood on the low end. You know, a house can easily cost $500,000. Like why? Because that dollar is deflating, and then everybody is moving from these other cities to the south, like Nashville and Atlanta, and it's causing the dollar of the housing market to increase, like the price of the houses. All right, but at the end of the day, your economy is falling, boy. So when this kingdom collapses, you're gonna collapse, man. All right. Yeah, brothers, did you hear anything? right, go ahead.
This Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turn of things upside down should be esteemed as a potter's clay.
Like putting a woman over a man, and the so-called black woman doesn't understand. You're used as a pawn to overthrow your race. Like, you really think a European or some Caucasian, what he has to do with a so-called black man's affairs? All right, he used you as a pawn to make sure we never come back into power. Because he knows that sovereignty and rulership begins with the family. The foundation of having a nation begins with the family, the nuclear family. You know?
And going back to Esau's cunning nature, he's so crafty that he utilized, the so-called black women, really just the tribes and the women of our nation to subdue us, because he couldn't come to us directly.
Yep.
Just like the serpent. He didn't come to Adam directly, so he came to Eve because, over the process of time, you think about it through spirit, just speculation, Eve probably couldn't talk to Adam. Just like they do it today's time. So that's how what Esau is doing. He sees his kingdom is crumbling. And by the time it does crumble, he's going to throw you off. Along, you're not going to be a part of his new world order, so-called black women, and also the other women of our nation that are trying to join hands with him. He only subdued you just because he wanted to get to us, man. It's all systematically designed. A lot of our people cannot understand that conception like that,
Right.
So when he falls, when this new world order comes about, you're not going to be a part of the NWO. He's going to toss you to the side. That's why it says in Isaiah, I want to say in the 28th chapter, our people going to say we have made a covenant with death.
Yep.
And that hell you are in agreement with. So you're going to find out by trusting to the shadow of Egypt, that's going to be your shame and that's going to be your confusion.
Right.
Can I break something?
Yep, that's right.
They brought Chihuahua, you put that on your YouTube. Basically, this marrying, the marrying DC, basically, she trying to force the kid to take the potion. All right, DC married, browser demand black children be vaccinated, or denied any education like the slaves' days, reading and writing for blacks. So that basically what she doing. That's basically what she doing in DC. She doing a bidding for her master.
Just like Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Just like her black ass.
Yeah.
Rosa Parks, just like her black ass.
All the people were set up, man.
And even though spick bitches like doing Tainos.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times the Portuguese and the Spaniards, they was using on women. They was getting to the women to get to overthrow the warriors, basically, the men.
I came across a account like that with the Northern Kingdom when they saw, so-called, white man came over there. They was like the first ones running to them.
Yeah, that's right.
They was using them to get over to the chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it's the same systematic design Esau does. When he goes through the weaker vessel. And he knows, Esau, that's why he's so crafty, because at the end of the day, he knows that you're weaker. You're going to fall victim to his game, man.
They went on that part, they went both hundreds. Young nigga got both hundreds ass.
That's a good point. And that's a dynamic duo you read by Genesis 3rd chapter between the serpent and Eve. And you see it's been played out today's time,
That's why they so good being together.
They're perfect couple.
You see them actually like in person together, bro. Like you in the spirit, you can see that goes right back to the serpent and Eve, man.
Because she want to be a motherfucking head dog. She run him like he ain't shit, so that's why we never. But they make a perfect motherfucking couple, man.
Right. Because it has to be a masculine and a feminine.
Yeah.
It has to be. It can't be too masculine. Even with gay chicks.
Yeah.
One bitch impersonating the masculine.
Yeah.
The other chick is the feminine, man.
So that's some of the biggest domestic disputes right there.
Yeah.
Two dykes.
Oh yeah? I heard about that, man. You know?
Like this the book of Luke 11:27. This is Yahushua. It said, it came to pass as he spake these things, a certain woman in the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, blessed is the womb that bare thee and the pamps which thou hast sucked. So by her just lifting up her voice, that's a cut against the scriptures right there, because these women you see on the dating sites, they love to say I'm outspoken. Well, that's against the scriptures by being, say you're trying to usurp authority amongst men.
But thank you for giving us the heads up so we can know to swipe to the left. Chicks they outspoken. Yeah. But because they think that's cool, like this, a little feminist. Nah, man, as soon as you get a sense of that feminist energy, yeah, because it can't be too much.
Verse 28. But he said, referring to Yahushua, yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of the Heavenly Father Yahweh and keep it.
Yep.
Part of that word is the man, the Most High is first, the Most High Yahweh, then Yahushua, then the Israelite man, the Israelite woman, and the children.
I thought about, I'm sorry.
No, listen, that's that divine order that was always set up from the beginning, man.
The nigga woman, she always says she's a queen, but I would say culturally, she is kind of like a queen because she gets her fair share of male lovers. You know, she's basically pedestalized in America, especially in the nigga community. So like Megan Thee Stallion and City Girl type chicks, they really are kind of like Hermetic queens, man. But they're not literally queens, but they have that lifestyle of a queen.
You go into the word queen, spelled Quean, it goes back to a prostitute.
It's really a whore, man.
So it's real like the spirit bearing witness around people when they say that.
It's fucking whores, man. Hey, but I'm gonna say this too. A lot of you women with these Western philosophies in these inner cities, y'all got gonorrhea, man. A lot of y'all got gonorrhea, chlamydia, what's another one, herpes. The so-called black woman, like in any urban city, man. But I speak for Jackson. The so-called black woman, she's heavy with chlamydia, she's heavy with gonorrhea, she's heavy with, I think it's called trichotillomania, something like that. She's heavy with those STDs because that bitch, she has like a high libido, or so to speak. She loves multiple sexual partners. That's the word. She's highly promiscuous, man. And that's that queen energy, man.
That's right.
She's entitled to different men. And she just like a nigga, she like it raw.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in these inner cities, man, Eve got chlamydia, gonorrhea, look it up, Google it. You know? But it goes back to that Western philosophy is I'm single, I'm sexually liberated. You know, I don't have a man right now, or he don't got a ring on my finger. But you heavy with that.
Yeah. That's that vibrational, like pro-choice.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Pro-choice.
Like do it style whip spirit.
And pro-choice is, I got the choice to abort this baby. Because Eve, through that sexual revolution, he cut off the connection between sex and making a baby. So now sex is no longer connected with making a baby. It's like it's an entity in itself. So when the reality of sex comes, which is you getting impregnated, you had a choice to abort it. To selfishly live your best fucking life. Your best stinking ass life. If you turn 30 and 40, now you want Jake to deal with you, man. Now you want to get married and shit, man.
When you hit that wall.
When you hit that damn wall.
You know?
That's why Black Rail, he called it the thought retirement plan. You know? And you can tell it's a thought retirement plan. I would say this, I'm gonna shut it down. But you can tell it's a thought retirement plan when she's fatter than her, like when her 20s, like she showed a picture of her 20s. Now she's fat. That's showing you that she's in a hurry to have a baby and start a family because she hit the wall. She's a lot older and she's fatter. Because when she was in her 20s, they all tell you the same thing. Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing then. Life had to humble me.
I'm gonna play the field.
I'm gonna play the field. And then, but you know how life humbled you because you got fat. But hey, you know what, look, man, it's a spirit, but we're not gonna just stick on it. The point was, the matriarch did not start with European colonization. It started with our forefathers, which is so-called black men. All right, so stop trying to deflect from your position as being a submissive under us by associating that with basically European colonization. You know?
It's Micah 7:10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? My eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets.
Hey, most of y'all gonna be trodden down in Babylon. We gonna get our women from other countries because we don't need y'all. We carry the seed.
But you had it, and that's why Ezekiel 94. Hey,
Yeah.
Women he said it three times.
Yeah.
Little maids, little young maids. So
They said old women, not the old women they on social media. Now they make a twerk videos, 50, 60 years old.
It's true. They have like the grandmother,
Yep.
the daughter, you know what I'm saying, and the granddaughter. Man.
Yep.
This
So
place out of order.
this
man.
place is filthy. America's a filthy, low energy, no spirit country, man.
The scripture in Ezekiel 24 it calls this place as skull.
Yeah,
When you
man.
go to the word, it goes to like worthless matter. So what you gonna do with that type of vibration? You gonna burn it up. And that's what's gonna come to this place, fire, man. Thermonuclear fire, man.
Stubble.
That's right.
Scum, man.
We forward too, man.
That's right. You ready to rule. There's a hereafter, man. All right, bro. You had anything else? Like with that, we hope the brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Never honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of every elect. Abba, coming out, Shalom.
Shalom.